share information. But 25 years ago, we were in this situation where, because we didn't have that in our mindset, we were comparing it to the things that we knew. We were comparing it to systems that we were familiar with. That exciting aspect clear, but the path to get there was unclear. And at a certain level, that's where we're at right now with the data web. I'm getting ahead of myself, but it all starts with sort of thinking about what if. And at the second web conference, when folks were getting together to sort of talk about, we knew something was happening. So at the first web conference, there was a lot of excitement. But the second web conference, we made a turn, and we knew something was happening. There was a buzz in the air. There were tools available. It just turned a corner where it was just so exciting that it wasn't controllable by any one person or any one group or any one idea. And we were sitting around at a series of these presentations. I was giving a talk on scholarly publishing using the web. And we were sitting around, and basically folks were calculating, we have 50,000 documents out there. How are we going to ever find anything? And so I think it was the Hotel Intercontinental in Chicago. Under stairs in a darkly lit hallway with plaster sort of peeling down. Yuri Rubinstein, the gentleman over here, who was the CEO, president of a company called SoftQuad. Anyone that basically is familiar with issues of accessibility on the web, making the web possible, accessible to anyone and everyone, Yuri was one of the leading figures that made that happen. He unfortunately left us too soon, but frankly, one of the just the most formidable, nicest, amazing, intelligent people that sort of really was one of the leading aspects and one of the leading lights that made the web possible, specifically for everyone. Joseph Hardin, the other gentleman on the right, he at that time was in charge of NCSA's division where Mark Andreessen, Eric Bina, and a cast of crew were developing Mosaic. Stu, the gentleman, I always like that shot of his. I don't need to really explain to him. And I was next to him, and yes, I am that pixelated. At that time, we convinced Terry Narold, who was the director of the Office of Research, that this was actually happening. Terry was forward-thinking enough to say, let's make this a leading objective of ours. And we were very gracious to be able to, with his help, get together with a lot of folks and basically say, look, let's bring together individuals from a wide range of different disciplines. So yes, we in the library community know something about finding stuff, but let's bring together folks that are working on the low-level internet protocols that are making the web work. Let's bring together individuals that are focusing on structured document encoding and bring them together. And bring these different perspectives and listen to them and figure out a path forward that we can make it easier to find and share and discover data in that 50,000 document collection. But with the knowing that this was growing and what could we do to basically make that happen. And we had no idea that this would still be going on 20 years later. We didn't. We went back and actually, I went back to look at the early OCLC archives and all the OCLC reports and news releases and things like that. We really didn't write anything up about this at that time because we just didn't really know what we were getting into. But what we realized very quickly, bringing at least the first 42 folks together from the library community, the internet community, and the markup language communities, that interdisciplinary approach, that active listening across these different domains, that active engagement. No one could be quiet at these meetings. No one was allowed to be a lurker. Everyone participated. And that's been a very common theme throughout a tremendous amount of the conferences since. And it's been one of the cornerstones that has made Dublin Core actually so amazing. And it's amazing to see, in fact, all of you here, 20 years later. I mean, this is a huge testament in and of itself. You know, people from all over the world flying in to talk about metadata. Let that soak in just for a second. What's equally important is how much that particular meeting and this particular initiative has had in the landscape of metadata on the web. This is an interesting diagram. Bruce, where are you? Come on, Bruce, raise your hand. There you are, Bruce. Bruce Washburn. This is actually a really nice diagram that tries to basically connect some of the continuity of how these things have evolved. There's a lot of confusion if we throw words out there on a screen like BibFrame and schema and Dublin Core and RDA and RDF and RD-Gosh. But the point is that in fact, actually these are all connected in sort of interesting ways. And Bruce did a really good job of starting to identify some of the interesting temporal patterns. You know, the folks that were involved and have taken some of these early thinkings to sort of, you know, weave them into the very fabric of standards that have been woven into the very fabric of other standards. In essence, realizing again that as all of us are here today, you know, this has been a journey that has been going on for 25 years, and the initiatives that we've started in Dublin Core, frankly, have direct impacts in a lot of the low-level technology protocols and standards that the Web Consortium has developed. It has a huge amount of impact in terms of the trajectories in which different industries, not just the library communities, but industries in general have taken, and actually have an important part to play in the direction in which the future of libraries and the future of the web of data actually can begin to coexist. So, you know, there's a lot that you know, we can do to work with Bruce to fill this out, but what was really nice about it was just starting to basically realize just the impact that the Dublin Core has had in terms of a wide range of different initiatives. And the things that, in fact, many of us sort of take for granted, or these weird slogans that have sort of shown up periodically over the past 20 years, have actually become very interesting founding principles in formalized designs in a range of different standards. Some of these terms, you know, rightly so, should be left go and go into the history books. But some of them have actually been quite important in terms of shaping our thinking here. So, I mean, there's a lot of new faces in the room, and I was extraordinarily excited, Mike, when you basically you know, highlighted all the folks that were on the sort of first time here. But can I get a quick raise of hands? Who is the, you know, for those that are the first time in the Dublin Core, one more time? Oh, this is awesome, guys. All right. So, all right, for those that were in the front of the seat, do that.